And so, right now, as we are looking at this time, we're looking forward to this joy. We're also in this bittersweet time because we're seeing the tribulation which must come first before the fulfillment of tabernacles with the millennial reign and a new heaven and new earth. First has to come Jacob's trouble. First has to come the day of the Lord, which ushers in all these things. And so Jacob's trouble, of course, we know is when God finishes what he started with Israel. And so they have 1 week left to end sin, to end all these things that we see in Daniel. And so Jacob's trouble is fast approaching. And right now we are in this pivotal point in history. We're on the brink of the tribulation. And at the same time, for us, for the bride of Jesus, we're even closer to to dwelling in the presence of God forever. We're right on the brink of everything changing forever. And we can see both of them coming at us quickly. It's a very bittersweet time because on the one hand, we see that we're about to be in the presence of our King. We're about to see Jesus face to face. We're preparing for a wedding. But we also see the worst time in human history barreling down. And it's a difficult time. It's a difficult time seeing the trouble coming. And the vast majority of the world is oblivious to it and they don't want to hear truth. So, but we're seeing this coming. We're seeing this covenant, this covenant with death right now on the brink of happening, and I've been very forthcoming that I think the Abraham Accords is most likely the covenant that's going to be confirmed by the Antichrist. And so right now we see the Abraham Accords, this peace deal that we see right now is part of strengthening that covenant. It's all tied together. And so it's interesting when you see here that the president here, the Qatari prime minister, is saying that Donald Trump is the only one in the world who can achieve peace in Gaza. And so there's all this talk and all this attention going toward that peace, world peace, this elusive eternal peace, as Trump called it last week, can only be achieved now by him, which shows you that the entire world is primed for an Antichrist type to come in. The entire world is looking for one man to save them. I mean, this is crazy because we've been looking for this moment and it seemed ridiculous that the whole world would fall for this, but yet we see right now the whole world is primed for it. And so we see here Hamas right now, as of right now, they're doing what you would expect them to do. They are saying that they want to make a deal, but they're also doing what they do every single time, which is they don't want to lay down arms, of course. They don't want to actually give up the hostages. So they're saying yes while they're saying no. And so what's going to follow, I'm not sure. I think biblically we see whether it's Israel and the United States or God himself, we see that Gaza, read Zephaniah 2, we know that Gaza is going to be leveled and it will be uninhabited. So something is going to happen. Either they're going to keep pushing back and Israel and the United States are going to level it, or just Israel will level it, or God himself is going to deal with it. But we know it will, God's very angry at Gaza in Zephaniah 2, and it's leveled and it's left for the flocks of Judah. So we know what happens. We just don't know how it gets to that point exactly. So I'm thinking it's very likely that Hamas is going to just continue being the horrible monsters that they are and that it's going to escalate. is probably what will happen. Um, but here, all the Arab and Muslim countries want to do this and they want to go ahead and begin this week. And so there's lots of pressure on moving quickly with this peace. Of course, we know this is a false peace, but moving quickly with this peace deal. And so it's not only what we're seeing here with this covenant with death and this peace deal that the whole world is coveting to such a degree, saying peace, peace when there is no peace. But then you also see the Gog Magog coalition coming together. So we see this with Iran and Russia. They're coming together with China and North Korea. So we see this alliance against NATO and against the Western nations. And of course, Israel right now is primed because they are expecting to be hit from multiple areas all at once. You know, Israel is expecting a very large attack um, against four countries here: Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, and Iran. So, and of course that, you know, Iran is the they are the ones that are equipping and the puppet masters of these terrorists that are in multiple nations. And so we see all these things coming together. I think this is an interesting picture here. And you see Iran, but then you can hardly even make out Israel on this map. It's really a testament to the Bible and the truth of God that Israel exists. And that's really why the entire world right now hates her. You know, we're seeing this anti-Semitism, we're seeing it grow. Today is October 7th. This is the 2-year anniversary of the worst massacre against Israel, against the Jewish people since the Holocaust. And it was filmed by Hamas. You know, you can actually, it's very difficult, but you can actually watch the raw footage of what they did. It's horrible. I mean, it's there, and I think people should watch it because even though those things happened, the vast majority of the world has their head in the sand to the real genocide that happened and is happening all around the world against Jews and also against Christians. Right now there's increased, like you look at Nigeria, there is increased persecution coming against Christians as well. And so we're seeing the tribulation fast approaching. Record highs in the markets. If you go to the grocery store, you're having sticker shock, and it's every week things are more expensive. I mean, everybody is feeling this pinch in their budgets, and it's just increasing. So there's record highs. We're seeing this we're seeing the horse of inflation coming up. And then there's the alien deception. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's been new footage of the three-eye atlas that's came out, I believe, just this morning. And there is more new footage of it that's supposed to come out very soon, probably in the next day or two, that's showing it looking like a spherical craft. And so all of that is there in the peripheral, and it's all there as a excuse and as a deception, as a great deception for when the rapture happens. And so the enemy has his plan. He's got his place in motion. And then you have, of course, not just the United States, but worldwide global financial trouble. And of course, this is in place because they have to get everybody on the digital ID. And the way to really force the digital ID is to crash the world's economies, the global economy. So all of this is perfectly orchestrated. And, we have a smart enemy. He has us so much paired up against each other. The perfect example of it is the way he has people paired up against each other politically. And he does this in every nation, not just America. Every nation is politically at odds with the opposite political, even though they're all in on it together. But the vast majority of people don't realize that. So Satan keeps us mad at other people. But we see in the scripture, God tells us your battle is not against flesh and blood, but it's against the spiritual authorities. Ephesians 6, Paul makes it very, very clear. But that's what the enemy does. He tries to divert us, and when you're diverted and you're pointing fingers at each other, you miss seeing things from a biblical worldview. Because if you look at it from a biblical worldview, it's pretty obvious that we're in the end times and Jesus is about to come back. So Satan wants to keep us, instead of looking at it from a biblical point of view, look at it from a political point of view, which will actually send everybody on both sides to hell. Because politically, you're looking for the Antichrist. That's who you're looking for politically. You're looking for a man, a government, a system, a beast system, mind you, to fix it. And that's exactly what is going to happen. That's exactly what the world is going to get. So it's a bittersweet watch. We're watching this. We have so much to look forward to, and it's encouraging if you're looking at things from a biblical point of view, because as you see everything fall apart, you realize it's really not falling apart at all, because we are literally living in the Bible. So as we see these things that are really scary, if you don't know him, if you know him, they're actually encouraging, because we see how close we are to seeing our King. And we're having confirmation after confirmation that God's word is true and where we are in time. And that's encouraging. So, Revelation 10 9 through 10, this is the bittersweet scroll. And we say this all the time, and I think we're literally experiencing here what John experienced in Revelation 10. And I went to the angel and said, "Give me the small scroll. Take it and eat it," he said. "It will make your stomach bitter, but in your mouth it will be sweet as honey." And so I took the small scroll from the angel's hand and I ate it. And it was sweet as honey in my mouth, but when I'd eaten it, my stomach turned bitter. And that's the thing, as we look at these things, as we see the evil, and the evil is off the charts right now. It's the I mean, how many shootings are happening, atrocities that are happening. People have completely grown just cold. The love of many has grown cold, and that has just turned up substantially in the last couple weeks. It's really, really interesting. In the last couple weeks, the last month, there has been a shift where darkness is coming in, and it's coming in harder. And so, and they're saying peace and security everywhere. This First Thessalonians 5:3, the sudden destruction as they're working on this peace deal, as you're seeing this increased call for peace and safety every single day, there's news articles, or they are saying this on, in interviews over and over again, peace and safety. Sudden destruction is going to come upon them like labor pains upon a pregnant woman. And so we're about to be birthed. They will not escape, but you, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness that that day would overtake you like a thief. We're not in darkness. We see the day coming. We're not going to be overcome by it. And so we seek him. We seek God for him. We seek him because we want to be close to him, because we want to know him, because we want to be in his presence. And so watching for Jesus is this amazing joy and anticipation in these last days. I mean, I say this all the time, but I really do pity the Christian that doesn't understand what time it is. I feel so bad for the bride that's not excited for her wedding day because I just can't even comprehend it. That you're a bride, you're engaged, and your bridegroom's about to come and you're oblivious. I just think that's so sad. And we get to see the Bible play out right in front of us. Like we are literally living in the Bible. This is an incredible time to be alive, an incredible time. I think that's the biggest discipleship builder. It makes me want to be in his word, that I'm literally living in his word. And so we know that our redemption is nearing. We know that we're going to see him soon. And that in and of itself purifies us. So it's a joy and it's a blessing to watch, knowing that Jesus commanded us to watch, and he's pleased that we're doing that. And I think it's important to have that reminder because as this evil's increased, as more and more people are watching for Jesus, there's also an increase in the mockery, and mocking people that are watching. It's that all that has gone up a notch as well. So Luke 12:37, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he comes, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And so Jesus says, blessed are you if you're watching. And so this bittersweet, we see the tribulation coming, and most are oblivious to it. And most look at you like you're crazy if you mention it, you know.